Courtney is a Tony Robbins business results training coach.
The chokehold of a business is the mindset of the owners, but it's also the mindset of the leaders.
I'm picking up a serious energy.
Because when you're in your early 20s and you're career driven or finishing school, your goals and wants are a lot different than when you're in your 30s and maybe have kids.
If you're living life so far into the trees where you just can't see how important and amazing this life is, like, come on, go out and live a little then.
We don't know how long we're here or how long we're gonna be traveling on this journey. To make the most of it, that's the choice.
Welcome to another episode of the Cash Flow Quest. We're really excited to share one of our favorite humans of all time with you.
Yes, we are.
And our, honest to God, our superpower in how to navigate life in general, but specifically how to work through and learn and grow to the next level. And so, Courtney, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming and being in person.
You guys are amazing. I love you guys. You're amazing. And you're so inspiring and truly walk the walk, talk the talk. And it's evident not only in your families, but in your team, in your business, everyone who works with you and meets you and sees you. And it's beautiful. So I'm so excited to be here and see you guys.
Yay! I know. We're so excited to have her in office today.
To have you in person. It's awesome. We're doing a really cool team training tomorrow. With our leadership team from the field, from the management company, and our corporate Comfort Capital company. It'll be fun to get everyone in the same room. We're going to deep dive with the team and do kind of a mini Tony Robbins event.
Which I'm excited about. Yeah, because some people haven't had any Tony stuff. We're big fans of Tony because we've just had so much growth and so much personal improvement, both in family life and work life and the team. And you were saying yesterday, like, as we were continuing to kind of grow this company, and we went to Date with Destiny to confirm that once we lost Dad. And you and I, like, very strongly had like a decision after going through that was like, okay, yes, we're going to do that and keep this company rolling forward. And another takeaway for us was, we have our strengths and weaknesses to build the business, but we're not somebody's HR. We're not somebody's counselor, if you will, and as you grow a team and manage more people, people problems are always the biggest problem in a company sometimes. And so we were looking for an answer of like, okay, what do we need to do, or what organization could we partner with to create this and educate people with tools that they can use in their work life and professional life to help them? Because everybody knows personal issues bleed into work life stuff, and we're not experts in that. And so it was a really cool kind of partnership with the business results program that the Tony Robbins organization has. And I feel like, we're always like in a way pitching people to this program just because we've had such a great experience, both personal and in business. And we do team trainings like this with our team, and everybody is like, whoa, like this, they don't know what they don't know until they experience kind of what this world kind of has to offer. And so I'm excited to share it with the newbies tomorrow, especially. And then everybody who knows what it is excited to get a little glimpse more and see you in person. And it's going to be great. Yeah.
I mean, just seeing the team grow physically, like adding more people, but also watching them grow as the business grows. Like, this is the must, right? The business is the business, and it's filled with people. And if the business is growing, because that's what it does, and the people aren't, then we get a chokehold.
Exactly.
And that's what happens to most businesses. Why do so many not make it past a certain point?
Right.
And so what you guys did way back when with your dad, and then when he passed, even to continue it, is not only to each and every one of you guys grow, but then that grows, then the business grows, then we grow more.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about, whether it's 80% psychology. It's not the 20% strategy of the business. Everyone knows what they need to do, X, Y, Z. Why don't they do it? It's that 80%.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. And that's why you guys leaning into this for all these years
Yeah.
And then but as we grow, we're new and different. Now we need to grow again, new and different. Boom. It's a constant and never ending journey.
Yes.
You know, and you guys are doing a great job of that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a huge learning curve. And if you're running a business and you don't think it's about people, you know, wake up. Because that's probably the biggest challenge with it is like, you know, and when I'll give a quick backstory. I don't think I've shared this specifically with our channel, but when we went, the first time we interacted with Tony, like, he did a show called Not Your Guru because he's not. It's not a cult.
No.
You know, I think people from the outside, you know, that's like, what is going on in there? Actually, a funny share is we were at Date with Destiny, and this goes a couple years ago, and we had to do a short Uber ride in every morning.
Oh yeah,
and,
I know what story. And you're
so
tell.
It was like the third or fourth day, you know. So we're like, it's flowing. People there now, like you kind of like become comfortable a couple days in. You know the people around you. You have a team.
Yeah.
You know, so like you kind of become more in state, and you're kind of ready for whatever they're gonna throw at you a little bit more. Well, we get in the car, we're heading there, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, what are you guys in town for?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're going to Tony Robbins' studio for a Date with Destiny. It's actually here, you know, and his physical studio's here."
West
Oh
Palm
yeah,
Beach.
yeah, I heard that he lived here. Okay, yeah, I've heard of this guy, and he seems like a good guy. You know, everything I've heard seems good, and he was like really chatty. And then we get there. It's like 5 or 10 minute ride. We get there.
As we get closer,
And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm picking up a serious energy. And he's like having a...
And we looked at each other
like
in
stops
the back
in
of
the
the
car,
cab,
and then like we're like, oh, it's a little bit further.
what
And he like
is
had to like
happening?
regroup for a minute. Yeah,
and we're
a few
looking
seconds.
at each other like, whoa, what's happening?
But it was. I mean, you know, we were maybe 20 minutes late to like the kickoff, which is typically like music, dance party, you know, so like this building's bumping at the studio and you could tell people are fired up, and it was, and that's what it is though. You learn to be comfortable in your own skin, you know, and you go through that kind of adjustment of like, oh, it's the norm to be dancing on your chair.
Yeah.
You know,
Isn't
and so
that great?
there's quite a mental like limitation growth factor that happens when you're there.
Oh, well, and I think it just grows your awareness, right? Like you look at life and yourself and others from a completely different lens. And it's like, you're right. I might have been in my own way. And like your perception and your awareness and then you get a better understanding of different things that Tony elaborates on. And it just is like, wow, you get to see the world from like a totally different vantage point. And it happens not always quickly, but like if you keep at it and keep learning, it widens and broadens over time. And that's
why
really
repetition is so important. Right?
Exactly.
Whether we're doing it with your team monthly and then I come every other year or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it isn't instant. And most people, it takes time to crack that open. Now, you go into an event with Tony and it's the full immersion, which
and you
is
do
the
feel
big
an
crack,
energy.
right?
Yeah.
You feel it and you're like, oh, I thought the world was like, this was my, perception, as you said, or this is my lens. Ooh, but look.
Yeah.
Whoa, and then
totally.
They go back to their world and it's either brings it back here and then they come back, and so this is the expanding of the identity, which is what we're going to work on too tomorrow, because it's part of all the things. It stacks. So who do you believe about yourself first?
Right.
Can you do it? Are you good enough? Yes. Can you pull this off? Can you learn? Can you grow? Do you want it? What do you want? Why?
Exactly.
And all these things, or no, I'm not. And then that's what your life's about. Either way you look at that.
Yes.
So that's really, to me, one of the, most impactful things about the immersive event is that people finally, maybe even for the first time ever, start to see what's possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And have
for
that
themselves.
for
right?
themselves.
So just to lay out the story clearly, Courtney is a Tony Robbins business results training coach.
Yes.
Just to make it super clear.
Yes.
Obviously you mentioned Tony already, but our journey started in 2020. and
Yeah.
Jen in with the Tony Robbins organization.
We went to our first event.
Going to a business mastery in February of 2020.
Right before COVID, which
Like,
was
literally right
just
before.
a great thing and coincidence that we were able to go before literally the world shut down
I'd
like
say
a week later.
It created more sturdiness and in our, conviction to go through it and do what we had to do through that era. And through that experience, we decided that Tony's environment we have a business that has people in it. And it was like, we were there to learn how to lead, how to grow a business. Our father, Wayne Comfort, was still with us at the time. So he's there with us. Very uncomfortable place for him.
Yes.
He was not at this point he's blind and he's in a big room full of 2,000 people, learning, and he loves the learning aspect of it, but like the forced socialization that they kind of do, and they ask you to play a full out
of your comfort zone.
And you're out of your comfort zone, and our last name's Comfort, and Wayne Comfort's been, comfortable for a long time. I'm just
he
kidding.
is a good sport, Wayne, that way, and he was amazing.
He was.
Yeah.
And Courtney was his one-on-one coach as well for that era, which was cool and special for our dynamic.
Yes.
And so we're kind of kicking off this journey in 2020, and we're at this business mastery class that he puts on. And it's really all things. You get hit with a shotgun of information or a fire hose of information for how to grow a business and accounting, and how to play what's your personality, or if you have partners, what are their personalities versus yours, how to effectively communicate. There's so many levels that you go into. I think it was a 4 or 5 day thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was 5 days. Yeah.
So when you go down there and then you realize how much you're being manipulated when you're there by music and energy, and the people in the room are producers and entrepreneurs, and you name it, they're doing that in the room. It was really inspiring. So to your point, you kind of like your aperture's opened, and you see a world of possibilities, and you're no longer stuck in your own little world, where it's like unknown and how big you can go, or, so you limiting beliefs, I'd say, was my big takeaway from that moment.
Brilliant.
But like knowing, okay, this person could, and the organization that Tony had built for business results and growth and how to train and build a culture, that was what got us. It was like, what do you mean build a culture? Like, how do you build that? How do you, starting from scratch? I think we had probably 30, people on the team at the time. And so like, we're just looking at each other like, are you going to build it? Like,
are you going to build it? Dad's blind. I don't know that he's going to do it.
He's a hell of an advisor.
Yeah, he is.
But he hasn't built something to this level now, and we are going to continue forward. So we look at each other, and then they lay out the options, right? And that's where Tony has a great business as well. But you look at it, you learn, you listen, and you go, wait, they could help come in, which at the time I did no idea. You and I didn't know each other.
Right.
I didn't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then we took the step. We bought like our first training, which really was just us, the three of us at the time, the core founders of the company. And then you maybe bring in a couple of your executive level guys, and you start to kick around these, and you go through a worksheet that is maybe monthly. You kind of have a meeting, and you start to catch a flow. Well, then it's like, well, hey, all right, this was a good year. Let's do it in person for our entire team. And it just kind of starts to build momentum. And so I think that people don't understand, it's not like this big, you go to the event and you feel it, you kind of change, you can create momentum, and you can shift your perspective on what you can achieve, but that you are trying to squeeze it all into 1 year. So it can be overwhelming on the front end. Well, when you just start and get a coach and start down that road, go to one event, in a year, go to one of them, and you kind of start pulling the string. You get more and more comfortable in that environment over time. We're having calls now. It was like maybe 2 or 3 times a month. Now it's like every couple weeks, but we have a flow. Yeah. Like my life without Courtney it would be significantly different. And I would be potentially running into those old challenges. And so then you build new muscles, you learn and you grow, and it's just consistent. But that's the key, just persistent and consistent effort
and it
in this direction.
It doesn't have to be, to your point, like leaps and bounds, right? Just set a reasonable target, even 1%. Just little tiny changes consistently
Yeah.
over
That's the
time
momentum.
build and build and build and make massive changes. Yeah.
And that's what people underestimate and overestimate, right?
Totally.
What they can do in a year or in a week, they think, versus a year.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it consistently,
Yeah.
and Tony sets it up like a system, right? You come and you drink from that fire hose you're talking about, and you are immersed and you're cracked open to the possibilities are endless. But then you bring it back to your coach to work on it, specifically your stuff, your chokeholds, your mindset, what could be, where you're going to hit the wall, or your team's going to hit the wall. And then as you grow, your leaders are going to hit the wall because, again, the chokehold of a business is the mindset of the owners, but it's also the mindset of the leaders.
Totally.
So if you put in place leaders and they have chokeholds, okay, and we're not working on those chokeholds.
And
boom, we hit
sometimes
the
you're
wall.
not even aware of it. Like, I feel like I've had conversations with
Yeah.
you where I'll say something, you'll go, wait, hold on a minute. Why? Why is that? Why does it need to be that way? And I go, oh, you're right. I guess it doesn't need to be that way. Like, where in my head, it was like so clear, well, that's not it. And it was like, it was that stop that it was like, well, no, why? It doesn't have, and so it's like, that's the type of thing where you see this bigger picture and then you hone it in and you're working on your personal stuff, or whether it's personal life or work life, and coaches just kind of like push home those like things that you learn where you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. Oh, I can do it. And then you go to do it and you just don't even have an awareness that you're in your own way sometimes.
Well, it's that, it's that 30,000 foot view, right? Like, why does Steph Curry still need a coach or whatever? I mean, not to tell him how to do a 3-point shot.
Right.
I mean, he's the best at that in the world, but he's in the game. And when you're in the game, you can't see the game because you're in the game, and you guys are in your games, but you're also in your business game.
Yes.
And I'm on the sideline seeing it from here so I can ask the questions. And it's the funny coach joke always of you're the jam in the jar and you can't read your own label.
Exactly. I
We're
love
all
that one.
right? We're all that in our own life or in our business. That's why it's so valuable to have the person here going, wait, does it need to be this way? What else could it look like? How else could you do it? Could it get, and then all of a sudden, there's the possibility.
It's like,
again.
You're right. Yeah. It's so
it's
cool.
really good. The momentum. I love that.
Yeah.
Totally. So we're there, and I'll share the hat I'm wearing, and it's more of like a fun podcast hat too that I have, which is an Alaskan bush plane. It's also the tire manufacturer for these crazy planes that can land in the rocks and the sand. I'm in that event, and you do some guided meditations in every one of his events, I'd say. And so there's things that you go through, and there's lists you make and achievements, or just personal growth dynamics in business, in your personal life, in your relationships, your wife, your kids, whatever it is. And one of the things I wrote down and that was 2020 was that I wanted to get a fun airplane to share my passion for flight with my kids and my family that we were growing. And my 4-year-old daughter, though, started flying. Now she can fly an airplane at 5 years old. She flies the plane I got. I have the dream airplane. It's a Carbon Cub. It's a Super Cub built by that company, Cub Crafters. So I'll share that story because it's like you go and you realize there's these little like nuggets of dreams that you left behind.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way. And those I think are important to keep sharp. And so those are the other things that come of it. You can grow your business. I remember the first time we were in person with Tony was actually what got us to buy the tickets for Business Mastery. It was called the Real Estate Wealth Expo. And he was just I'd say he was the closing act.
Yeah.
It was rightly so. And so we went there for several of the others, all the speakers really, Tony included, because we'd never seen him. And Jen and I are looking at each other. We're both bawling by the end of it.
Yeah.
And you just realize how short and how precious life is.
Yeah.
And if you can get closer and draw closer to that feeling in your heart, she figured out that she didn't want to spend as much time working as hard, as many hours as we were. At that moment, she had kids, I didn't. And so I just remember that being a huge moment for you.
At a Business Mastery.
Well, right before that though, at the Wealth Expo, when you only had Owen. And well, when we remember early on, we went
I didn't have kids then.
Yeah, you did.
I
You had
don't
Owen.
think so.
You had Owen. It
Okay.
was the year
No,
before.
you're right.
But he was only like
I'm
1 or
confusing the
2.
kids. Yeah, you're right.
He was young.
Yes.
But it was like, I don't want to work 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
5 days a week.
Yeah,
now,
no,
as a
I remember
mom,
that.
you were working through that.
Yeah, but
the
I knew I
personal
didn't want to
challenge
be
of being a mother and a business professional and all those things.
totally.
And
Yeah.
we separately in the moment for our own personal growth resonated with Tony's environment.
Yeah, it did.
And so that kicked us into Business Mastery. We signed up and bought the tickets for
Yep.
Business Mastery from that.
Yes.
And it's just, I just want everyone to know like the story, because it's
Yeah.
kind of a long story now.
It is. I
How
know.
we got here with you. But then we've been working together for 5+ years. Then the broad stroke element that I think people miss in the realm of personal development and training, and then Tony Robbins specifically, and what you do a great job of maintaining and coaching off of the platform, is state management.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first I have to go to a couple things you said there, because, part of, I think also one of Tony's golden nuggets, or, that separates him. Well, he's the creator of all things coaching ultimately, right? But not out of the sports arena, let's call it, right?
Sure.
Because of people, like coaching regular people, business people, human being people
Yeah.
need the same thing that an athlete needs.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not? If you want high performance basketball, tennis, whatever, but
You have a
but
coach.
we all want high performance lives. Like we
Yeah.
want to be focused on what's important to us. Having a kid, having a family, spending more time with your family,
Mhm.
not working as hard or not as hard, but as many hours, and identifying what is important to you.
Yes.
This is a big deal. So it's like so much of what we do is, what is it you want? Like, what is it that you want your life to be about? So many people don't even ask that question of themselves.
Well, they've lost track of what their dreams were.
Right.
Like
your
where
airplane.
are you going?
Like
Yeah.
you said, the nugget, right? That nugget.
Yeah.
What is that nugget? Everybody
Right.
had them
Yeah.
at some point. And then where do they go? Oh, the grind. Oh, I got to do this. I have to. I should.
Yeah.
All the things that then, right,
Yeah,
make you.
they should all over themselves.
Yes, they do.
I love that.
I
should
love that
all over.
one.
We know. It's
Should.
the truth.
Shoulda,
So
woulda, coulda.
it's a combo of all these things, but you're right.
Yeah.
State, and the state that you're in. And what is that? It's your way of beingness. Are you seeing it? And again, it goes to the cracking it open, seeing the perspective. Are you willing
Yeah.
to play full out? Are
Yeah.
you
Totally.
wanting to do it and see that you can and know that you can and do whatever it takes to get to that place?
Yeah.
Is the state that you're in, right? And so it's always our foundational principle for everything.
Yes.
Because without it, you will not do it. If you don't have that state and you don't know why you want it, you won't.
Yeah.
Because you'll meet something, you'll hit that wall, or you'll hit the block, or you hit the chokehold of what is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stops. And I always say, like, you go and you end up in a cul-de-sac somewhere,
Yeah.
until you
Yep.
eventually have a pain point that throws you out of that, which
And-
the universe will give you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually it will. And then you all of a sudden go, whoa, I better grow. Because
Well,
if you're not,
And to further on that,
Yeah.
like you and I feel like talk about this a lot, where it's like different seasons have
Yes.
different pain points.
Right.
And so
100%.
if you do this constantly, right? Because when you're in your early 20s and you're career driven or finishing school or whatever, your goals and wants are a lot different than when you're in your 30s and maybe have kids and are married, and like life changes and keeps going. And so like the chokeholds change. And so like to have a real firm purpose or reason to why you want to do something and hold true to your heart and what you as a human really want in your life, I think that it makes it super clear to like make a decision and move forward, where it's like, okay, this is what I want. That makes sense if that's what I want. That over there doesn't really fit if this is what I'm trying to work towards. And I think you have done a great job with helping us and this team that we work with to kind of have that clarity. And just because you ask the question of what do you want? How do you want this to be? And start there. Yeah.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. And it is the clarity, right? The clarity
Yeah.
is the power, because if you're clear, then you can weigh it and sift it through that,
Yes.
even in this life cycle or this life cycle, because it is going to change.
Yeah.
And that's why this is, it's not an end game. Oh, I'm going to do it for a year and then I'm there. I got it. I know everything. I'm good to go.
Totally.
Yeah.
No. It's like this is constant and never ending growth, because our life is this journey that we're on, right?
Yes.
This journey of our life is going to have, as we say, worthy opponents, challenges.
Yes.
You could call them problems, whatever, but that's part of what is the growth. And if, again, to see it in the stage you're in now,
Yes.
and that's personally, and it's also business wise. So when you're business owners, it's like they're not always also synced, right? The life cycle of your business might be different from the life cycle of your personal life or of your, all the things, right? This is that 3-dimensional chess game that Tony always talks about.
Yeah.
This is really what it is. And it's why it's so important to continue to ask yourself, hold on, what do I really want right now with this? And why is that important to me? And then you're in the state of being that you're willing to go for it, and it all lines up, right? It's that.
And I think you and I have touched on too, the awareness of your state.
Yes.
You know, like
especially with kids, it's like a game changer.
You get swung around with kids more than I've ever experienced.
Oh,
and that's the truth. You know, people you can hear that before you have kids a million times. It will never penetrate until you have kids.
Yeah.
And you're literally so frustrated on one side, and then 10 minutes later you're crying and so grateful for having that child in your life. Like there's so much there. You know?
You wanted to strangle him 10 minutes ago.
It really broadens your life. I encourage everyone to have kids because it's the most precious thing ever.
Yeah. It's the miracle of life. It's one of the biggest miracles there.
Yes.
And you get to be grateful that you're parents, and I'm grateful I'm a parent, and I'm a parent. And, you know, you're right, because I believe state really, it's the most important thing with kids, because if you live in frustration and impatience, and we've all been there, this isn't perfect, especially as parents. We've all been impatient and tired and frustrated and annoyed. But if you live there with them, it's not going to go well.
No.
You know, not for them, not for you. And you're missing it.
Yeah.
You know, so even within the moments where you catch yourself, like you just said, the awareness of, oh my gosh, okay, hold on. And you tell your own kid, I need a TO. I'm going to run to the bathroom, wash my face, and I'm going to come right back out, and we're going to do this again, you know? And you cut yourself off from being cranky, nasty, bad attitude, snippy, whatever just happened, right? And you go in there and you change it. However, jumping jacks, wash your face, brush your teeth, it doesn't matter, right? What you do. And then you go back out with that intention of what? Being playful, having fun, connecting.
Yeah.
Even if it's homework or even if it's washing. Okay, now what's the chore we're talking about, right? But from that state, it's going to go better, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's going to better for everybody. And you're just like, you won't have guilt later too, because a lot of times people will hit it with like frustration, and then later you go like, man, why did I do that to my daughter or my son? You know, like I totally overreacted, you know, and you start to, and then you're like bummed about it instead of giving yourself that time out to go do a jumping jack or get some water, even just to like look yourself in the mirror sometimes and wash your hands and be like, come on, you got this. Like, chill out. All right. It's all right. Let's go. Out we go.
You got to kind of check yourself. And I think that, so then to drive the point all the way home, which is if you can get yourself to understand the state, go through the training and know and get closer every day to living in peak state.
Yeah. It's a practice, right? It's a muscle. It's the muscle build.
Life is so much fun. You know, like, there's going to be challenges. You're still going to get pissed.
You are.
You know, or whatever. You're still going to get swung around.
But it happens less often when you're more aware of it.
My goodness.
And you work that muscle.
Just bumping like the right songs in your car and, you know, playing into those things for you that do it, you know, that pick you up. And for people that don't know, peak state is like when you're just humming. You know, like you're just vibrant. You can feel it. You're excited about life.
Yeah.
You're excited about breathing in the air for the day. It's just, you're not stuck.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of I love that you started that with awareness, because everything does start with awareness. You have to know you're not in a good place,
Yeah.
right? You have to catch yourself, check yourself, you said.
Yeah.
I love that because otherwise you're just in this place you go to, which is, okay, we got to go here. We got to do the things. We got to get the homework, got to get the bag, got to get home, got to make the dinner, got to do the shower, got to put the bed. Night, see you tomorrow, dink, light up. I mean, do it again, Groundhog Day. I mean, that is pain right there and suffering, right? For everyone.
And it's such a, what's
It
the right
makes
word?
me laugh.
I know,
It's like,
it's
oh my God.
I've done that so many times now. Yeah. I rock my 2.5-year-old every single night. But then I intentionally sing a song about gratitude. And it slows me down. And I've been staying in there for like 5 or 10 minutes longer every night now because it's like he's 2.5 for this much time. It's a fleeting moment. And if you just hold to that, you know, and then you live enough life to know that it really is the truth.
Yeah.
Like I'm only 35, but I've heard it enough to hear it from people that are older than me. Time is fleeting.
Yeah.
You know, like absorb it.
Well,
you know, and I'll listen. Like a good mortgage broker friend of mine's like, just sit on the floor with your little kids and play Legos or whatever the heck it is longer because it's gone.
And every year, as I continue to get older too, like they just keep going faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah.
And so it's
crazy.
focus. Like when it goes to state, this isn't Pollyanna, you know, like, so for people who've never heard of this concept and they think, what are they talking about? Every day's a great day and I'm freaking tired and my, you know, okay. Every moment of every day for the rest of your life, you can choose, right? What's wrong, what's missing, what sucks, what's hard, what's late, or what you can be grateful for, appreciate, enjoy, love. You get to decide.
Yeah.
Like that's the choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the key is to catch yourself when you slide into that other one for a sec. That's the mastery. It's not having it. We're human.
Yeah.
And we have the primitive brain and we've got the mind that will put us there, but it's to catch it and then just go, T-O. And your kids are going to love it because then they learn, oh, I can take a T-O when I'm feeling like I want to throw the toy at my sister or whatever, right? That I can take a T-O. T-O, I need to run to my room, you know, do some jumping jacks. I mean, I have so many clients who are teaching their 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, like how to change their state. I need a glass of water, mommy. One of my clients told me the other day, her 4-year-old walked in and said, I need to change my state and I need a glass of water. And she was like, okay. So the mom brought the water, set it down and go, I'll be back. Let me know when you're done. And she left so she could do it herself.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm better, mom. And she's 4.
Wow.
I mean,
I love
this
that.
is the perspective. What are you going to focus on? You know, and it's Lego because it's fleeting because my kid's only going to like Lego and then it's done. Yeah. And it's not coming back.
No.
Right. And so we don't know how long we're here or how long we're going to be traveling on this journey, and to make the most of it by being focused on what serves you.
Yes.
And your family.
Yeah.
And what you want.
And celebrate the little wins along the way.
Oh. Just because I feel like in this moment, I don't get the opportunity much, but to honor our parents, like our mom and our dad, he was so incredible with that. He was blind for 12 years.
It was unbelievable.
Like if we didn't learn it from that, you know, from the ability for him to take that positive outlook daily when he woke up, and he was not a happy blind man, you know, and like that's not like, oh, he's such a happy blind man. It's like he had to choose that
to be
daily.
That. He did,
you know, and praying for like an hour, 2 hours every single day when he woke up. You know, like we had such an incredible example. So I feel truly blessed for that.
Yeah.
And it's part of who we are, you know. We feel that. So it's been an excellent journey with you. You know, I appreciate you.
I feel it too, and you know, it's a blessing to have that role model in him and to have, again, if we look at that was happening for him to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Not what you would choose to all of a sudden become blind. Ever. choose that. And then to make the choice not to give up in that moment, like, or moments every single day where he had to make that decision. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
It's not easy. Nothing's easy, actually. It reinforces to be grateful you can brush your teeth without someone showing you where the freaking thing is.
Yeah. It's so true.
And like the fact that he was the best sport and went to the Business Master with 2,000 people where it's loud and you can't see and you're kind of like, and he did it anyway.
And he was hard of hearing too, because he was in the construction business for 30 years.
I mean,
so it was
double whammy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it joked,
it
and then
easier.
in the end, that's what we found. He actually made the joke in the note of where to bury him, which we didn't know. Which was I always have one foot on the grave and one foot on a banana peel.
That was the title of his note. Yeah, in his phone that we found.
I'm blind and half deaf.
Oh my. But that proves it.
Yeah.
And he could joke about it.
But
look,
you can, what sucks, what this,
totally.
this,
and you feel sorry for yourself.
Or you know what? I got 1 foot here, 1 foot here. Exactly. I better watch where I'm going or focus on what's great and be in this moment with these kids, with these grandkids, with this team, surrounded by all the people that he loved, that loved him, doing what he wanted to do. And stepping up. Yeah. I mean, he did like totally. Miraculously sometimes. I'm like, holy cow, how do you do this every day, Dad? And he just, he always surprised me with that. And I couldn't be more proud of the things that he accomplished when he was blind. It was unbelievable to watch. Yeah. And such a role model to look up to and follow. Yeah. And so cool. When you look around and people are moaning and groaning about this or that or this or that, it's like, hold on a sec. Really? Yeah. I know. Your coffee's cold or it didn't come on time or what are you talking about? Right. That is, you're suffering because you're focused on this thing that isn't even important. Exactly. And so many people do that. Yeah.
Right? If you're living life so far into the trees where you just can't see how important and amazing this life is, that's where it's like, come on. Yeah. Go out and live a little then. You don't get it. Or someone's going to smoke you. Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
You're building these amazing tools and muscles to live life at a higher level across every angle, every piece of your life. Yeah. So
because problems, as we said earlier, right? They're not going to not happen. No. It's not because you're not a good person you get a problem. Problems are part of life and they're going to come.
And some of them are opportunities.
And they're all opportunities.
Exactly.
And the truth though is when they're coming, if you don't do the work to support the issue that's going to come as an opportunity to grow, you could get side blinded because you never know what that one's going to be. Exactly. And how big and how intense and how it could be a COVID. It could be a pandemic that shuts 99.9% of your business. And there were restaurants that folded right away. Some went bankrupt. And then others who banged a hole in their wall and made a drive-through and then exponentially grew.
Right.
And what was the difference? Only they saw possibility. Yes. And they saw that,
resourcefulness.
If we bang a hole here, we can... They didn't say anything about drive-thrus. Let's do a drive-thru. And boom. And that's really what all this is, right? Like when it comes, innovation, what are you going to do with
opportunity?
Yeah. And that's where your dad was. What am I going to do with it? This is where I am. Yeah. This is the what is. And that's why I go to people who think, oh, it's all just puff and stuff and it's not real and it's Pollyanna and it's the opposite of that. It's actually seeing things as they are.
Yes.
And then you accept and allow that. And then you see what's great about it, what you can learn and grow from, how you appreciate it, and what you're going to do because of what you want and why that's important to you.
Exactly.
Right? And all of that comes together, and then you do what you guys are doing, which is you continue to grow through each of your life cycles, and as your business grows through each of its life cycles, and then as your team. They're in one role and they get promoted, new life cycle. Yeah. Now they hit a wall, they hit a chokehold because they were rock star at this level, but now they were such a rock star. You put them here and they go, and that's where, boom, we need the tools, we need the training, we need the coaching because otherwise they go back down. That's the nature of the mind. So it's a repetition and it's practice. So it goes back to what you said there, Blake, about you got to practice this stuff over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like our brain is going to ever flip a switch that goes, oh, I'm just going to be, no, because you got the primitive brain.
Yeah.
And that worry, doubt, and fear is real. It comes in and you have to be in charge of it. And that's doing state work. What are you focused on? Why is it important to you? Using your physiology, your language, music, all the things, right? To bring you back to, wait, how do I want to walk through this right now?
Exactly.
Whether it's you're blind or whether it's, I mean, it could be a lot of things, right?
And then I feel like that's almost full circle where it loops back to expanding your identity.
Right. 100%.
And growing into that next layer of identity for yourself because you're continuing to learn and grow and make different connections with people and run through stages of your own life. And then your identity kind of molds over time.
Well, that's the exciting part. Then it is that's this exciting journey of our life is that, whoa, where am I going next? Who am I becoming now? And oh my gosh, well, let me dream. Like the hat, like the plane, like who even knew in that moment that you'd have a little girl who'd be flying that plane from that hat, from that vision, from seeing it.
Totally.
And that, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Right? The reticular activating system of the brain where you want to plant in the things you want, not let other people put in junk. Whoa.
No.
Right? Which is what happens if we're just over media, over social media, over.
Well, and especially today when we're in an information overload world that you live in, you really have.
When I get it, if I go on Instagram, it's the sickest airplanes and they're doing all this cool stuff. I'm like, I got to turn it off. It's like endless, you know? And
and more airplanes.
We're on social media, but we're not living in social media. You know, like you use it as a tool.
Right.
And that's that.
That's that. That period dot. Yeah. I like to say period dot there because otherwise you're like, oh my God, you know, and your brain goes chick, 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 you know. And
it's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable how addicting it is.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun experience to then choose to really lean into learn and grow.
Yes.
And now it's like so much fun. Like earlier in the day, we're having like a big goal setting meeting with the team and like the dynamic has completely shifted.
I would agree.
And now it's about building a winning team.
Yeah.
You know, which then you have to lean further into
and
this.
working together towards goals, which makes it way more fun. And you don't feel like you're pulling this heavy bag up a hill or, you know, because everyone's together and excited about it. And we're all playing to our strengths and like going up this hill and experiencing this journey to achieve this awesome goal together. And it just is like, there's the culture. There's the fun. Yeah.
Well, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
And life is, to me, it's a team sport. Period. End of story. Life is a team. Nobody comes here by themselves to do one thing by themselves.
Yes.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Right? We aren't just the solo animal sitting over there doing its own whole thing by itself. We're not.
Yeah.
We're a team.
Yeah.
We're a team with family. We're a team with business. That's why it's a spiritual game.
Yeah.
Because that team, that family, is going to force growth.
Yeah.
Because it can't stay stagnant. There is no stagnant. There's dying or growing.
Yeah.
And so as that you guys all come together to, okay, now we're focused on even more is that next level team to take us to the next level targets.
Totally.
And being aligned with the purpose of why it's important.
Right.
Is everything in that, right?
Yeah.
That keeps you in state.
Yep.
And it keeps everybody aligned to the North Star and why it's important to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
And then it goes to growth again. And it is fun. It's so fun. It's like, it's why you want to tell people, do it, have a call, have a coaching call, do a thing, go to Tony, because once you feel how fun it is, all the people out there right now in the world that are not having fun, because there's a lot of them, that it's like, it is a choice.
It is.
And you get to focus on what you want to focus on.
Yeah.
And for the cost and the time allocation to go to like Unleash the Power Within or UPW, it's like, million X.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, like, because you can't really put a price on going from like an okay life to living the life that you really want and getting to understand
true.
the quality and the decision that you can make to enjoy life every day
yeah.
and run at peak performance. And it's going to ebb and flow. It's not perfect.
No.
But then you realize like you could see the other side of it. So anyways, it's
Really
been
exciting.
a fun journey.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I
There
know.
we go.
And it's not-
2026.
Here
We're
we
on our way
come.
to the next, things
know.
are moving faster than ever. And, if now it's like you said, now we need it even more, right? Because what happens, in
hit
your
the next
in your-
level.
and the growth trajectory, but also in the times.
Yes.
I mean, we're in these times that are exponentially moving because of technology and all the stuff that's happening, that it's changing this faster than ever before. So yes, there were times where we shifted exponentially like that, right? Before computers and then after computers, like there was a time that changed everything, right?
Yeah.
But it's happening now faster than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to do your practice. You have to have that saying of athletes, right? You'll fall to your highest level of practice. Why do they practice harder than games? Because if the game is harder, you're never going to win it.
Right.
Ever.
No.
But if-
Consistently.
right. Yeah, you might get
Yeah.
lucky, right?
Exactly.
We don't want to hope on luck, right? That is not a strategy. So it's like, we got to train harder. You got to practice harder. Then when you go to the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, this is fun. Let's go.
Here we are.
Right.
Yeah. We got this because
Totally.
you've synced and you've practiced and you've put in all the
Yep.
work to now let's just play the game and have fun.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so that is what this is. It's like, we got to keep raising the standards for the training,
Yeah.
right? So that we can support the growth at that level, so that if a big thing happens, we're going to fall to the highest level of training. We're ready. We can all the leaders, all the owners, can support it, right? In that opportunity, in that worthy opponent moment. Because we know we're going to have them. We can
Yes.
anticipate it. It's normal.
Yeah, you're going to have
Yeah.
things that come at you from unknown
Yeah.
places.
You can't get away from
You
it.
can't,
Yeah.
you can't anticipate everything,
No.
you know?
Yeah.
You just know it's gonna. You can
Yeah,
anticipate.
You're
it'll-
shielded.
Something.
You're
Right.
prepared for it.
Yes,
Right?
preparation.
The
right?
preparation is
There it
there,
is, yeah.
and then you go and
Yeah.
you play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're excited for the training tomorrow and
Yeah.
sharing more Courtney magic and knowledge
Oh.
with the rest of the team. And yeah,
love it.
2026. And here we come.
Here we come. We're almost through January already. Lickety split.
know.
We're
Oh
off.
my
Crazy.
gosh, off and
You know?
rolling.
Yeah,
we are. Let's do it.
Let's
Here we
do
go.
it.
I'm really excited. You guys are amazing. I
Oh,
love you.
you're amazing.
Thank you so much
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
for joining us in your time
Yes.
today in person. And so thank you for joining us for another episode of the Cash Flow Quest. We hope we could add a ton of value today and share with you our superpower. Courtney.
Oh
Thank you
my
so much.
gosh.
Bye,
Cheers.
everybody.